Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. And in today's video we're going to be doing a story time about the time that I basically quiet quit a job, okay? And if y'all are like, what is quiet quitting? Typically that's when you kind of like ghost a job. You basically just don't put a 2 weeks notice in. You just get the fuck up out of there slowly but surely, okay? And that's exactly what the fuck I did with this job, because it had me so messed up. So this story starts when I had freshly graduated cosmetology school, right? I was looking around the city for different salons that I could work at as an assistant until I got my cosmetology license, right? And so because I went to the cosmetology school Aveda, I wanted to go to an Aveda salon because I was like, okay, I'm familiar with the products. It ain't nothing new that I got to learn. Like, I'm already familiar. Cool, right? So I call around to a few salons, see what I like, and I end up landing on this one in the Atlanta area, right? And so everything was amazing. Like, me and the manager just got along well. We was just chatting it up. We was talking about how we was the same sign and how like she loves working in this industry, and how, you know, she used to do hair, but once she became a manager she stopped taking clients and whatever, right? So I start this job right after I graduate cosmetology school, literally on my birthday, period, okay? So I literally, like I said, started a few days after my 21st birthday, right after I graduated. So when I first started there, it was cool. And just a disclaimer, I know that for black people, they're gonna be looking at me like, why would you do this? But y'all, why was I the only black person working there? Mind you, I wasn't the only like minority working there, but I was the only black person working there, period, right? So everybody that worked there, the manager, she was a white woman. The owners of the salon was this Korean couple. And then it was a white girl that also worked there, but she was trans. And then a Korean guy and this Cuban guy from Miami, right? So we're all working with each other. Cool. And the guy that is Cuban, right, as I'm getting to know him, I'm noticing every time me and this man talk, he would always talk in a black accent, right? And for this story, we're going to call him Jared, okay? So every time me and Jared would talk, I would notice he would only speak to me in a black accent. And I used to be feeling like, what the freak is his problem? Like, why is he always talking to me in an accent? Mind you, I get it that I talk in AAVE and stuff like that, but when I'm in a professional setting, I don't speak in AAVE. And if you hear my voice, a lot of times people never know where I'm from. People always ask me on a daily basis, where are you from? Because they never assume that I'm from Georgia, let alone Metro Atlanta, right? So with that being said, I know for a fact that he can't pinpoint that I'm necessarily from a like a urban area or from the hood. And I'm not saying that I haven't grown up around people who look like me, which is not the case. Like, I've only ever grew up around black people. I grew up in the black suburbs. But the whole point of this is, why are you speaking to me in a black accent if I'm not even speaking to you like that? That was the whole point, and it had irritated me so bad. So one day, me and the girl that's trans, we was just talking, and I kindly asked her, hey, has Jared ever spoke to you in like a funny way? Like, does he act funny with you? Just because I feel like if he doing this stuff with me, I know he has to have tried my girl, right? And so she's like, oh, like, what are you talking about? So I go into detail just like I'm telling you. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's doing this again. And I'm like, doing what? And she goes in to tell me how when she first started, he would do the same thing, talk in like a black accent and just be weird and kind of like, you know, one of those people that like try to like be overly like fake inclusive, but it just comes off as like weird because like, what are you doing? So anyways, she's like, you know what, I got something for him. Just wait and see, because I can't believe he's doing this again. So I start getting nervous because I don't necessarily want to make a big fuss. Like I said, I'm the only black person working there, and you know, like, I don't know, like, I just didn't want to make too much of like trouble since I was the newest person working there. So she goes to our manager and she ends up telling her what happened, and she speaks to him, and he ends up apologizing and is like, oh, I'm sorry, like you should just let me know. And I just told him I simply didn't know how to go about it, and so I figured I would just, you know, confide in a coworker. I didn't necessarily think that she would get a manager involved, but I do accept your apology, whatever. And we go and go about our business, right? We cool. So then, y'all, the thing that had me like, yeah, this nigga had me ultra fucked up, which is ultimately what made me quit this job. Before I even get to that, another thing that had me like, yeah, I gotta leave this job soon, was because the manager, this lady used to talk to me so crazy and just would be in such a bad mood, because when I started at that job, she had told me that her and her baby daddy had split up, so she was recently single and a single mother, right? And so when she had told me that, I didn't think nothing of it. But y'all, this bitch used to take her issues out on me. Like, just because your nigga got you mad, got you turned up, bitch, don't take it out on me while we at work, ho. I don't even know you like that. Like, chill on me, bitch. Like, I understand, you know, you in a tough spot because nobody ever wants to willingly be in that position. But at the same time, leave that shit at the front door. Not with me. So, like I said, sister used to be yapping at the mouth, just talking to me all types of crazy. And it used to really irritate my soul, because I'm like, I'm never unprofessional. I'm never rude. I do everything that you ask me to. So why are you trying to turn up on me and you don't even know me like that? Like, chill the fuck out. Calm down. So like I said, sister used to just have all this mouth and all this anger and animosity, and used to like just try to take it out on me. So that was already irritating me about the job. But then the little stuff, like I said, Jared would do would have me just extra irritated. Cause I'm like, y'all be just letting this nigga get away with any fucking thing, right? So the last thing that had me like, yeah, y'all bitches got me so fucked up, was when it was a customer that called into the salon, right? And one thing about this salon is that for every service, they had two different prices, right? So for example, if you were getting a haircut, depending on your hair length, you either got the cheaper service for like the shorter your hair is, or if your hair is longer, you got the long hair service, right? So that's how every service goes, and it's usually no more than $5 to $10 of a difference between each other, no matter the service, if it's like a haircut, hair straightening, blowout, whatever. So this customer, she calls and she's like, hey, I want to get my hair straightened. I came here once before, but it was years ago, and y'all did such an amazing job. I would love to get it done again. Is this person, Kathy, still here? I was like, oh no, Kathy isn't still here, but I can recommend you to our stylist who is well versed in curls, right? Because although there were no black stylists at this salon, there were black people who attended the salon, who got haircuts, their hair done like no problem, and my coworkers did it no problem, right? The only thing is they would have to add extra time, just because when you have curls, you know, you got to add a little more time, put a little more love into it, right? So that was the only thing. So I told her, you know, give me 1 second, and I explained to him what the lady was looking for. She wanted to get her hair straightened. So he said, okay, cool, we'll book it under this service, and then just add extra time, and then just let her know that it will be a little bit extra just because of the time, which a little bit extra was, like I said, like a $5 to $10 difference. So with that being said, she was okay with that. We get the appointment booked. We got it, right? So anyways, come the next day, the lady comes, gets her hair done, and when she comes to get her hair done, I have like left to like get off. Like when she had came in, I was just like leaving out. So I see her and I smile and I tell him, do a good job. I'm excited to, you know how it goes, right? Well, y'all, I go home about my black business, think nothing else of it. Well, that next morning, I get an angry text in our work group chat, and basically it is a bad review. And you want to know why it's a bad review? Because the person says that they booked the service, and long story short, they were told one price because that was the price that it was supposed to be in the system, and she got charged $30 more, right? And that wasn't even like with like tip included, and she was just like, the person did an amazing job, but to be charged like $30 extra from what I was told over the phone is a little like extreme. So my manager is going off and it's like, who the fuck told her that it was $30 extra, this? So immediately I'm like, bitch, it ain't me. Like, I didn't tell her that. So I immediately was like, I didn't tell her. I told her the price was this and this because that's what I discussed with Jared, right? And so she's like, okay, well, Jared, like, what's tea? And he was like, basically just gave a bullshit excuse that had made no sense. And basically just what it looked like is that he wanted to finesse and get extra money out of the customer, but because she left a bad review, now his spot was lit up, right? And like I said, Jared had already did little shady things prior to this, right? So in my head I'm like, yeah, he's gonna get a good cussing out. Like, this lady is gonna pop her shit the way she be doing it at me. I know she's gonna go off on Jared when she comes into the salon. Y'all, do y'all know that all she does, like, is make... Okay, y'all. Literally, she comes in, right? And she immediately calls the customer. She immensely apologizes and give her a full refund. And then she told him that he needed to apologize. That's all that she made him do, was apologize. She didn't go off on him. She didn't berate him. She didn't like say like, oh, you're spending, none of that, right? Mind you, this lady has gone off on me for literally less. So the fact that she was so chill with that shit had me through the roof, guys. Like, I was so pissed that was the day that I said, yeah, I'm quitting because y'all have me fucked up. Bitch, you be puffing up that chest, talking to me like you crazy, bitch. And I be keeping it cute, trying to keep my job and shit. But yeah, you're done, ho. So I acted like everything was cool, right? And at that job, I brought my lunch every day. So I would go and I would warm up my food and then go to my car, right? So in between, when I was doing like towels, I snuck off and I would drop a few of my things in my car and come back through the front as if I just was taking out trash. And before I knew it, all I had left was like my purse, right? So I always kept my purse on me, so I kept it casual, cool, didn't make it seem like nothing. I was like, oh yeah, like, I'm about to go on lunch, I'll see you guys later. Y'all, I immediately left and did Uber Eats. And then right when my lunch break was over, I sent them a text message saying how I was quitting basically because of mistreatment. The fact that they let Jared get away with so much at that job and he didn't even get a quarter of the treatment that I got, which I felt like was unacceptable. And I just got the fuck up out of there, and I ended up finding a new job like literally fast right after that, so I really didn't give a fuck. But y'all, that was a time that I just quietly got the fuck up out of there because they had me so effed up. And that was one of the worst salons that I've ever worked at. And I would never recommend it ever, ever, ever. Like, ever in my life, okay? Like, literally, when I quit, my friends left bad reviews because it was that bad. Like, when I told them like all this stuff, and mind you, I didn't tell them to leave bad reviews. They just really fuck with the baddest bitch heavy, and they just stepped out on a limb and said, you know, I'm gonna defend the queen. And they did just that, and I will forever love my queens for that, because y'all did not have to go out y'all way to go leave a bad Google review, because you know they can't delete it, so it's just there forever. But yeah, that was a story time. I hope y'all like this story time. Like, comment, and subscribe for more story times like this. I will see you guys later. Bye.